Hey everyone, I hope that you are having a fantastic Friday. Today I am going to do the Goodreads tag. I stumbled upon this as I was looking stuff up on BookTube and I thought that this would be a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's get into this. The very first question is, what was the last book that you marked as read on Goodreads? The last book that I marked as read was Through the Grinder. It's the second in the Coffee House Mystery by Cleo Coyle. It was actually an extremely good read. It actually made me tear up at the end, and it's one of my cozy mysteries that you all know that I love. So that was the last book that I put on my read list. The second question on the Goodreads tag is, what books are on your currently reading list? And I actually have 3 books on my currently reading list. The first book that I have on my currently reading list is The Cat, the Wife, and the Weapon by Leigh Anne Sweeney. It's the 4th in a Cats in Trouble mystery, and I listen to it while I'm working out, actually. So I only listen to that book while I'm at the gym. And so far, I've got, I think, 4 hours left out of a 9-hour book, so not too bad. I could probably go to the gym more often, but you know, I'm trying. So that is my first book. The second book that I am reading is Don't Look Down by Jennifer Cruz, or Cruce. I'm not quite sure how to say her last name, but I actually hauled this book in my last video, my accidental book haul. It was one of the books that I didn't know that she had written, and so I was super excited to do that, and I'm about 100 pages into the book so far, and it's really good. The third book that I'm reading is actually a professional development book. It's called Upstanders. It's actually a book on how to teach middle schoolers, and it's a really, really good book. I'm moving into middle school this coming year. I'm teaching 7th and 8th grade history, so I thought that I would buy a couple of books to help me get in the right mindset of teaching middle schoolers. The third question on the Goodreads tag is, what was your recently added book to your to-read list? And the recently added book that I put on my to-read pile would have to be The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodore Goss. And I actually saw it on Book Riot's page. She was talking about some newly released and most anticipated books, and this one has sort of to do with, it's got Frankenstein, it's got, I mean, all different kinds of those sort of like a sci-fi era, and it's actually sort of like a feminist novel because most of the characters are female. Question number 4 is, what book do you plan on reading next? And the book that I plan on reading next is actually Help for the Haunted by John Searles. I actually hauled this in my accidental book haul. The link will be down below, and it's about a girl whose parents helped haunted souls, sort of getting them set free. She goes to a job with them and waits in the car, and she hears gunshots, and her parents are actually killed. And she has to go live with her estranged sister, and she starts finding clues in the house that they're living in about their life, their family, and different things like that, and it sounds really good. I am super excited to read this next. Question number 5 is, do you use the star rating system on Goodreads? I have just recently started using the star system with every book that I read this year. I really started using Goodreads this year, actually. I have a lot more book. When I give a book a 1 star, it means, it wasn't really my cup of tea. It's not that it was a horrible book, because that's just my taste. Everybody loves books for other reasons, and so I never want to say, gosh, that is the most horrible book in the whole entire world of ever, because somebody had to have loved it. For example, I would give Red Badge of Courage a 1. I did not enjoy the book at all in any way, shape, or form, but it is a very, very historical novel, and it's a very popular book. It's a classic. So just because I didn't enjoy it doesn't mean that others won't. Whereas if I rated a 5, this book has to be amazing. It has to be supercalifragilisticexpialidocious good for me to rate it a 5. And I do rate a few 5s on some cozy mysteries because they gave me all the feels that I expect from a cozy mystery. But other than that, that's sort of how I rank things. I don't normally rank things a 3 because that seems to be average, and I don't know. I feel like that's just where you go if you don't really want to say the book was good or if you don't really want to say the book sucked for you. So I normally stay within the 1, 2, 4, or 5 range. Okay, question number 6 is, are you currently doing the 2017 reading challenge? I am doing the 2017 reading challenge. I actually started off with my goal as being 50 books, but I'm already at 30 books, and so I felt like I could do better than 50 books. So I actually upped it to 75. I know I probably should have cut it down the middle and just been like, you know what, Courtney? 60. But I didn't. I'm going to push myself, and I'm going to read 75 books this year. Watch. It's going to happen. It's totally going to happen. I hope. It'll happen. Question number 7 is, do you have a book wish list? Now, technically, I don't have a wish list. My to read section are all the books that I want to read, but I don't currently own. So I guess that could be my wish list. But other than that, I don't really have a wish list on my books that I want to read. So no, I do not have a wish list. Okay, question number 8 is, what book are you planning on purchasing next? Well, technically, I don't have any books that I'm planning on purchasing. Since I just did a book haul of about 11 books, I think that I have to put myself on a book ban because, I mean, my TBR pile is about as tall as me, and I gotta read what I have first before I buy new ones. Or at least that's what current Courtney is telling her future self, but future Courtney might not listen. Future Courtney's probably not gonna listen. I mean, I know her, so not yet. I don't have anything on my wish list or on my to purchase list yet. And the very last question, question number 9, is, do you have a favorite book quote? Now, there are probably hundreds of book quotes that I absolutely love, but right now I'm trying to get back into the Anita Blake series, so I thought that it would be a good way to start out my Anita Blake series with a quote. It goes, I'd never met coffee that wasn't wonderful. It was just a matter of how wonderful it was. So that's pretty much how I am with coffee and or tea. I've never had a coffee or tea that I wouldn't drink. It's just a matter of how much do I actually like it. That's the end of this chapter of Courtagonist. I hope that you learned something new or that you found an author that you want to read. Please subscribe, and hopefully you will follow me on Goodreads so we can become friends and suggest books to each other. All of my social media links are down below. And until next time, guys, happy reading. Bye!